We are going to move on to our final session of today. This session is kind of flipping the script. We're talking about organizations that are supporting people who are brand new to Rhode Island. So we have three organizations represented. I haven't seen Teddi yet from the Refugee Dream Center, so I am trying to reach her offline. So we're going to start with Adriana Dawson of Verizon. And she will introduce the panelists and ask them to introduce their organizations right now.
Great. Hey, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to join you for this portion of today's magnificent conversation. So yes, I'm Adriana Dawson. I am the Regional Director for Community Engagement for Verizon, and I have been in this space of entrepreneurship and working very closely with Black and Brown entrepreneurs, new arrivals and refugees on their journey to entrepreneurship. So I am super excited to really engage the panelists we have today to learn about their journey and their technology solutions that are supporting folks on a path to self-sufficiency as they arrive, not only in Rhode Island, but as they are newly arrived to a brand new country with a whole way of doing things differently. And so for today, I would like to welcome William and Wilkin, and certainly invite them to talk a little bit about their business and their business model before we dive into the meat and potatoes. So Wilkin, why don't we start with you, and why don't you share with the folks who are joining us today the name of your business and briefly what your business model entails.
Absolutely. Hi, everyone, and thank you to this amazing organization for the invitation to talk about my journey. My name is Wilkin Sanchez, and I'm the founder of the Rhode Island Group for Hispanic Technology, or RIGHT for short, which is an organization that assists Latinos or Hispanics to learn more about technology and be more fluent about this new era when it comes to technology. Aside from teaching technology to those Hispanics, we serve as a networking hub to those who don't know about resources that may help them to be more successful here in Rhode Island or in the United States as a whole country. So we work directly with Hispanics and also small businesses who don't know what kind of resources they may have to improve their organization, to have funding, maybe marketing resources, and any resource that they may have to become more successful. To give you a brief story of who I am, I'm coming from the Dominican Republic. I moved to Rhode Island about 6 years. And when I came to this country, it was a little bit hard because of the language barrier. I didn't know any English when I came here. So I said, I want to learn about technology, but where do I go? Who do I ask? So pretty much there was nobody who were teaching technology in Spanish. So that's what we created this organization, to empower the community to come to join us and to learn the things that they want to learn in the language that they speak. So they become more confident when it comes to asking questions or giving explanation to the things that they know. So that's pretty much what we do, and we are here to support the community.
Great. Y muchas gracias, Wilkin. Y
Sí.
tremendo inglés que habla. All right. So, William, would you mind telling us a little bit about yourself and your business?
Of course. I just want to also say it's a pleasure to be here at Venture Cafe with you guys. And my name is William, and I am the co-founder of Belong Here. Just a little background about myself. My mom immigrated to the United States from Taiwan, and my dad came to the US from Brazil. And even today, 30 years after they immigrated to the States, I still need to constantly help them just like write emails, pay bills, and fill out forms. And so this is something that I'm really passionate about, just getting immigrants the resources that they need and overcoming the barriers and challenges that they face. And so that's why I started Belong Here, which were founded on a belief that we all truly belong here in the United States. And over the past few months, we've done a lot of consumer interviews, just like talking to community organizations and immigrants themselves. and understanding the pain points that they face. And so we've noticed, just like Wilkin talked about briefly, that English and communication is a big barrier, as well as job search, as well as the social connection. All of these are issues that have just gotten so much worse during the COVID era. And what we decided that where we could really provide a lot of value is through this job search part of this problem. And so what we do is we help and train and mentor immigrants and refugees and connect them to businesses who are looking to hire them. And so we really provide a lot of value in terms of job search, job preparation, job interviews, and helping immigrants and refugees in that area. And we also provide value to businesses in getting them a pool of talent in our rich immigrant community.
Great, thank you. And Teddi, welcome. I thought I saw your beautiful face just a second ago, so I think there you are. Great, and thank you for joining us. And I'd love for you to tell the group a little bit more about the amazing work that the Refugee Dream Center does, please, because I can certainly go on and on about what you and Omar do, but you know, I'll go ahead and defer to you. You're on mute. There you go.
I'm on two computers. Give me 1 second. Let me log out.
See, Teddi's worldwide, so that's why she needs 2 computers, because she's like talking to.
Okay, my name is Teddi. Am I echoing?
Just a little, yeah.
It's a little bit echoing. Let me change my system. I'm so sorry, guys.
I feel like I can hear you pretty well.
I think I am not now.
Yeah, you're good.
My name is Teddi. I am a refugee from the Gambia. I came here in 2009, and I co-founded the Refugee Dream Center, which is a nonprofit based in Providence. And what the Refugee Dream Center does is we are a post-resettlement organization. It's a 501c3. So we don't resettle refugees. We help them when they arrive in the United States, because they work with Dorcas International Institute 2 months or 3 months. See, it is based on experience. We came here as refugees, and it happened to us like 3 months or 2 months. You don't expect anybody or a refugee to be self-sufficient in America here, because you have to go through a lot. You have to, like, you are a newborn baby. When you come to this state, you have to learn the language, you have to learn how to navigate, you have to learn the system, you have to learn the things around you, relearn everything again. So that's where we picked up. So what we do is we have programs like case management. We have, in that case management, we do ESL, we do job search, job training, financial training, and also we offer different services. We also have a youth program where we mentor youth, for refugee youth and the American youth. We join this group together to integrate, to learn from each other, not from top down. So you see, the refugees will learn from the Americans also will learn from refugees. You don't have to go to Somalia or to Syria in order to learn their culture. You can come to the center to see them, to learn their culture, to see their way of life. So it also helped these youth to build relationship, like friendship, and also like confident, and to be able to have friends, and they are like the same age or like a little bit older. About the ESL program, we have no limits. It's like when we offer our services to everybody depending on your level. So
I'm sorry, Teddi, do you mind if I ask you a question?
Yes.
How have you seen the immigrant and refugee population in Rhode Island? Have you seen an increase in the population? Have you seen a shift which is probably why we're going to speak to Wilkin and William's model for the needs that you're seeing. So can you speak to what you've seen in the last 5 to 10 years in terms of the influx of this particular group into Rhode Island?
So what I see for the last 5 years, refugees, it has a lot of decrease, because for the last 4 years, due to the administration that we have, refugees are not coming in their big numbers. They were coming in the big numbers, but then the numbers were reduced. And immigrants also are not coming that much. So we still serve immigrants and refugees, but not newly arrived refugees, because the numbers are very, very low now.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And I'll get back to you. So we'll kind of put a pause on that for now. But maybe if I can defer to William. So William, we found that this mentor-mentee model, it's applied to schools, it's applied to sort of other sectors. I think this is the first time for me, and I'm a little bit more seasoned than you are, William, that, I've seen this concept applied to new arrivals or folks who are transitioning. How have you found the reception in this innovation space or in the small business community to your model and to the community that it's providing a solution to?
I think overall there has been really great reception. I think what we really pride ourselves on at Belong Here is we really try to focus on the problems and the pain points that these communities face. So we've really had so many conversations with immigrants and refugees, as well as community organizations, to see where they need help on and what problems they're facing and where we can provide the most value. So that's really how we decided to hone in on our solution and where we are going to help, which is through this, so basically we're focusing on the job search process first and then expanding. And also I want to touch upon Teddy's point. I think we're also seeing the same thing in talking to immigrants, refugees, and organizations, is that because of the administration, the numbers of immigrants and refugees have been lower in the past few years. And so that has affected the community in multiple ways. I just wanted to say that I totally agree, and that resonates with me as well.
Sure. I'm just going to follow up with a quick question. So how is the employer community? So ultimately with the model that you've developed, so the goal is to support folks onto a pathway for employment. So have you started having conversations with the employer community and letting them know about the talent pipeline that you're building and supporting right now? And how's that reception been on that end?
Yeah, I think the reception overall has been pretty good. What we're seeing is that a lot of these, we're trying to really focus on businesses that really prioritize diversity and inclusion, and want to hire like a immigrant workforce. There are actually already businesses that have majority immigrant workforces, and some businesses actually only hire immigrants and only refugees. I'm sure that Wilkin and Teddy know about a few of them. So overall, that perception has been really great from the businesses as well, and we plan on reaching out to more.
Great. And this is a great segue over to Wilkin, because, recognizing that sort of employers are moving away from the paper-based applications for employment, right? Everything is sort of done online. Here's our website, submit your application online, and so I'm seeing a lot of intersection in this sort of ecosystem. So Wilkin, what are some of the needs or asks that you're getting from some of your students or participants specific to technology? But what is it about the use of technology or the skill set? What are they looking to do? Is it apply for employment? Is it to connect with loved ones overseas by using different apps? What is it that you're seeing that technology is helping them with?
Yes. So a little story. When COVID hit and most of the organizations closed and schools closed, we made some partnerships in Providence where we helped parents, usually Hispanic parents, with the computers of the kids and the online learning. So we received a lot of calls of parents saying, hey, I don't know how to use a computer. I don't know how to access the portal. I don't know how to submit the classwork. So we help them with those questions and those needs. Right. Aside from that, when it comes to finding jobs and all of that, a lot of those people need help with resume, creating their resume, filling out applications, and learning how to use the technology, learning how to use like a computer when it comes to applying to those things. So, we get a lot of calls and emails from people saying that they don't know how to do certain things and they would like help. And that would include also joining video calls with their families abroad. So those are needs that we are helping the community be more fluent, and they know that they have the support of RIGHT when it comes to helping them filling out a job application or with the online learning of their children.
Great. Thank you. And you brought up a great point, I think all of you did, because I wanted to follow up and kind of talking about how COVID may or may not have sort of impacted your business model, or it's actually helped you accelerate your, your engagement and your business model because the need was so great as a result of sort of COVID coming into our lives. So can any one of you kind of speak to, is there a silver lining to COVID for, your business? And what have you seen sort of happen as a result of?
Yeah, I can continue the conversation. So when COVID hit, it was very hard for us because, as you may know, we work with people who don't know much about computers and technology. So most of our workshops that we provided were in person in different libraries. So when COVID hit, we all have to go home and don't go nowhere pretty much. So it was hard for us to provide the training or the resources to people who probably didn't know how to get into a Zoom meeting or a Google Meet meeting, right? But after that, we learned that we needed to adjust no matter what and stop thinking that we need to go back to the past. So let's look at the future. So we created something that we reach out to those people. We get in a call, maybe FaceTime, since many of them know how to use that. And we help them face to face through video calls instead of being in person. So that way we are safe. We follow the social distancing guidelines and we provide the help that they need.
Great. Thank you. William, Teddy, any thoughts on your experience during, these crazy times?
Well, I will just add on what William and Wilkin said. During this COVID time is kind of more challenging for the Refugee Dream Center because we are having more clients. Some are not even refugees. Most of them are immigrants because we know the refugees already. And the same kinds of problems that they just mentioned, like parents are having problems during school time until now. Like some return their computers and they cannot their computers back from the school. It's kind of like a chaos. Some don't know how to log into the Google classes. So you have to go to their homes, set it up for them, and then try to show them how to log in. Or sometimes we partner with the Bride. It's like it's a group at Brown University. So they do mentoring. So this group of students, so we partner them with the group with the refugee kids. So they will help them like to do Google class or help them with their homeworks if necessary. The other thing is understanding the information from the CDC. What the Refugee Dream Center is doing is to translate the CDC guidelines information to the languages that the refugees speak. For example, like we do Arabic, we do Swahili, we do Spanish, I think we do another language, Kirundi, Kiruanda, I don't know Kirundi. I cannot remember, but we do those languages though. So we translate them so in order for the refugees to be able to read them themselves and understand it. And we have more demands for job because people are losing their jobs. We have more applications. So our case managers are super busy with helping refugees with jobs.
Great. Thank you. And I just kind of wanted to advance this other piece in this conversation. So I know that the innovation community is very committed to making the ecosystem more flavorful, right? And doing more and reaching out to ensure that it's inclusive and that the topics and conversations that are being had also speak to people that have had different experiences, life experiences, a different journey. I'm wondering how you personally, as individuals of color coming into this innovation space, what is it that you'd like to see from this community that will allow you to feel more engaged and involved? What would you like to see in terms of support for you as you continue to grow your business model and are hoping to pull on different resources and assets? Tell us what you need, what kind of further support you'd like to see. Oh, come on, don't all jump in at once.
Okay, who's coming? All right, so I'll go then. What I would like to see in our community is people working together more, people understanding each other, people getting out of their comfort zone and go out there and try to help out, knowing that we are all the same and we are all equal. We may be different in needs, but we are all the same here. And understanding that some of us needs help more than anybody else. For example, like you come to this country, you are new, you have no family here, you don't know anybody here, you don't know even how to take the bus, how to ride the bus to your work, and you are left alone. So that can make your life miserable. You can be depressed, you can do anything, because it's like you feel like you don't belong. So what I am asking is the people who live here, people who understand here now, when you go out there, you see these people, you meet them, you listen to them, you listen to their stories, you try to know them and understand them. That can change somebody's life.
That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah, and I can add to what Teddy was saying. Pretty much giving a hand to the ones who need it the most. If you go out there to a job anywhere and you see somebody who may need help, it doesn't matter if it's a Latino, European, from anywhere around the world, and that person needs help, make sure that you help them. That doesn't mean that you have to give them money, but you can help them, maybe get a job, maybe recommend them to an organization. And the same thing goes for everybody. And if you can help anyone, just help them.
Yeah, I love what Teddy and Wilkin are saying with just like the community supporting each other. And personally, for what our venture would need, we want to make sure that we create an inclusive, supportive, and that we are reaching out to the most marginalized communities. So what we would really appreciate is if those who are connected to immigrant and refugee communities can leverage their connections to connect them with us. We would really want to help those who are most marginalized and make sure that we are helping those who really need it.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that. And I'm going to put in a shameless plug because I've been in this space for a really long time as well. And I would say from a programming standpoint and from a strategic planning perspective, sometimes for folks who come from different lived experiences, to reinforce the point, is helping unpack their story, right? So it's not, here's a cadre of training programs, pick one of the 5 and here you go. But I think being very intentional about listening to the stories, understanding the needs, not from your perspective, from their perspective, and identifying your tool of assets and your tool of resources to identify, am I sitting on something that can be leveraged to support this group? And if I don't have something, what can I do in collaboration with them to develop new tools, new resources, and new programming. I think the challenge that we often have as resource partners is we tend to lean on conversations and existing programming that we are familiar with because we're familiar with it. And so, to everyone's point, it's leaning on others to step outside of our normal and being creative and reimagining what the ecosystem can look like that's more flavorful, that's more rich, that can be offered from a multilingual perspective, and recognizing that not everyone has the same literacy levels. You know, how is it that people are processing? If it's too text rich, or if we're just deferring to PowerPoint presentations, you're not taking into account, even if it's in their native language, what their literacy level is. There are lots of people in my family who have a third grade education. So just assuming that you're gonna walk them through a presentation in Spanish, you're creating unintended barriers that they even know how to read in Spanish. So taking into account how presentations and conversations are being had so that it speaks to all levels of literacy and comprehension, and making sure that you drop it on and in their lap, and doing it in a way that honors where they've been, who they are, and where they see themselves in this innovation space, right? And so I'm sorry, I haven't checked the chat to see if there are any questions, but I'm sure Tuni, Amy, anyone, if there are any other sort of threads to this conversation that we wanted to lift in the short time that we have. I guess we have a few minutes left.
I love how you just pulled that all together, Adriana. Like being a small business champion in Rhode Island, right? And running that small business tech support program, William and Teddy, we're going to call on you to reach more Rhode Island small businesses so we can help them. But we always, when we started this program with the state, it was called the Rhode Island Small Business Tech Support Program. The name in itself isn't attractive or engaging to the actual audience we're trying to help. Micro businesses that already exist with like 1 to 5 to 10 employees, right? And it's the same thing culturally. So what we've been saying from the beginning to all of our volunteer advisors is empathy is so important, and meeting them where they're at, not where we think they're at or we think they should be at. Really just always being mindful of exactly what you just said, Adriana. And if the human race operated like that, like I often illustrate it with our pets, right? We all love our pets. And if you have a cat or a dog or a horse, they all have different needs. And we very quickly learn our pets' needs and cater to that, right? Imagine if we treated each other that way. So I love the way you sum that up. And I love this program, and I don't care that we don't get a lot of attendees, because these are conversations that need to be had, these are stories that need to be told. We record, edit, and post all of our programming to our website, and we have over 150 sessions we've done. So I love that we're developing these playlists. And from the beginning, when Amy came up with the Innovation is for Everyone series idea, I said, all in, this is who we are as an organization. So I guess I just like to say, and the director of our Venture Cafe Cambridge program, Shaheen, is on here, and connect with him too, because we can amplify your stories and your work, and you never know who you're going to touch. But where the gold for these sessions is in the post-event digital asset that we create, right? Those podcasts and those videos. So we will send those to all of you. And what I would say, Amy's got a newly 3-year-old Danny climbing all over her. So, but what I would say is we're going to keep these conversations going. And as District Hall, we're here to help, right? Like, innovation is for everyone. Like that's we live it. It's in our DNA, and we truly exist to connect anyone with an idea or a business to the resources they need to grow.
I love that, Tuni. And I think, so kudos to you and your team, because what you're doing is you're creating intentional collisions, whether people like it or not, right? You are introducing members of your innovation space who may have been a little bit more insular, who may have catered to a particular end user, you know, that fit a particular demographic or profile. And what you're doing is you're creating an intentional collision and saying, hold on a second, let me introduce some other, you know, folks and other potential, you know, end users. Because I think in the innovation space, again, you tend to lean towards what you know, not recognizing that there's an entire community of people who have needs that your technology can be a solution to. So this can open a whole door, a whole new opportunity for your existing entrepreneurs in your innovation ecosystem if they really wanted to unpack and understand needs, solutions, and the products and innovation related things that they have, and recognizing that it can make an easy pivot, you know, to solve other problems other than the originally intended one. And it can open up a brand new market for them that they hadn't even considered.
But if we can even help a Dominican food truck, right? Like
all of that.
Innovate, you know, it's all innovation, right?
Right.
Because that we can, so please continue to reach out to us, all of you, and let us know what you need. If you need our space, if you have ideas for programming, we are solutionists, right? We all are. So we're happy to work with any one of you to, you know, build solutions and real pathways. So thank you.
This is a very good opportunity for all of us, I guess. And for us, we'll definitely reach out because we see a lot of people coming to us asking for, like last year, we have a family, they have been asking for food truck. And then what we did, we do a GoFundMe. They were able to buy a food truck. They were using the food truck. And after 6 months later, they have a store. So these people are not only self-sufficient now, but they are totally independent and they are hiring other people. The other example is Aleppo Sweets. That restaurant is a refugee, and he used to come to the center to learn English, and we used to help him with all these forms and everything, or give him advices. Now he owns his restaurant and actually hiring other people, hiring other refugees, especially women. So these are the things that we need. These are the things that the community need, people like you guys. We definitely appreciate you.